Hello everybody, and welcome to an all-new game of Display Trivia. Now I know what you're thinking. Who is this busted Sarah? Well, don't you fear, because that is not a busted Sarah, you see. It's a busted Chaz. Can we start over? Oh, we're live? Okay, well, I'm here covering for Sarah for the next 2 days, and please be nice, okay? I'm like your substitute teacher, but not the lame, naive substitute teacher you could take advantage of, like when you convinced your subs in school that when the teacher's gone, you can just watch movies and mess around, okay? I'm not falling for it, buddy. Oh, no. You're not gonna convince me to do something crazy like read the answers instead of the questions. Oh, that's what Sarah does? Are you sure? Oh, well, I guess I should do exactly what she does. Okay, well, the answers are... Oh, they're lying. Sarah doesn't read the answers. They were pulling one over me. Okay, oh, and I have a paper on my back that says, kick me? Got it. Why don't we start with some rules? You'll have 10 seconds to answer 10 questions each. When a new question appears on your screen, choose carefully, because once you tap, there's no going back. Wow, I've always wanted to say that. If you get one wrong, though, just keep playing. Make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi and that you're holding your phone vertically so you can keep your eyes on me and on the questions. Your winnings will appear in your display bank account if you're actively posting and have your profile all set up and ready to go. And speaking of ready to go, that's what I'd like to do. Make sure all of you are. So let's test the waters for no points at all. The question is, where is Sarah? Wrong answers only. Is she lost in the mail, lost at sea, or lost in thought? Where is Sarah? 44% of you say she's lost in the mail, 33% of you say lost at sea, and 26% are she's lost in thought. Well, I'm pretty sure she's playing tonight, but we'll see. Now, who's ready to take this show on? Because buckle in, people. I'm new at this. It could be a bumpy ride. Oh, please. Like some turbulence doesn't make it more fun. It's time for Display Trivia. Question 1. Which of the following items would you drink out of? A cup, a VHS player, a switchblade? Which of the following items would you drink out of? A cup, a VHS player, a switchblade? Not me, your sub-trivia host, bringing up drinking in the first cue of the night. But seriously, though, is it too soon to start? I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, I mean 5 a.m. The early bird gets the worm, right? Who's gonna tell those birds that worms are icky? Maybe cut that worm with some tequila, little sparrow. I kid. But seriously, just a little sip won't hurt. Might even loosen you up a bit. And trivia's not about precision. It's not even about winning. Oh, no. It's about the friends you make along the way. And isn't that the most beautiful jackpot of all? Hey, I'll raise a VHS player to that. I'll raise a switchblade to that? No, it's cup. Honestly, whatever we can find. Beggars can't be choosers, and 96% of you got that right. Question 2. Actress Julia Fox was recently memed when she strangely pronounced the title of which movie? The Irishman, Uncut Gems, The Great Gatsby. Actress Julia Fox was recently memed when she strangely pronounced the title of which movie? The Irishman, Uncut Gems, The Great Gatsby. In case you're not up to speed with all things meme, Julia Fox broke the internet a few weeks ago for her unhinged pronunciation of this movie. But I don't know, I think we could have gone a little bit easy on her. I mean, everyone has those few words that trick them up. For instance, people say I pronounce the word quiche funny. You know, quiche? The baked egg pie people eat for breakfast? Quiche. Oh, this is making me want brunch. Speaking of which, aren't you glad it's a Wednesday? Huh? And that we're finally into March and past February? But Miss Fox was not talking about her mom's brother or her jellies and preserves. She was talking about her part in the film Uncut Gems, in which she claims she was the muse. Look, muse, muse, it doesn't matter. However you want to say it. And 90% of you are my muse. Q3. You would use all of the following to repel a vampire except garlic, a crucifix, a lullaby. You would use all of the following to repel a vampire except garlic, a crucifix, a lullaby. This question is, of course, operating under the assumption that you're actively trying to repel a vampire. And to that I ask, why? Why are you trying to repel a vampire? Are you scared of them because they're different? I mean, have you ever tried to get to know a vampire? You might see that you have more in common with them than you think. Funny story, I'm actually trying to attract a vampire at the moment. I matched with one on Tinder. And let me say, thank God I've been working out 4 times a week and cutting carbs. His one dating stipulation, though, was no Italian restaurants, which DBH might be a deal breaker for me. Papa loves his fresh pasta. It is said to repel a vampire, one must have garlic and a crucifix at the ready. Although it's not canon, I'm sure a really good lullaby would probably disarm them. What do I know? All I know about vampires I learned from Sarah Michelle Gellar. And 89% of you are slaying this game, Q4. The recent reboot of the HBO show that first premiered in 1998 had which of the following words in the title? This, just, or and? The recent reboot of the HBO show that first premiered in 1998 had which of the following words in the title? This, just, and. Wow. What a classic show, and what a weird, strange reboot. I simultaneously hated it, but also couldn't get enough of it. I mean, Mr. Big dying on a Peloton, Miranda getting on in the kitchen while Carrie pees herself, and Steve. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on Steve. They did Steve dirty. And Samantha ghosting Carrie? That is not our Samantha Jones. But all of this, and I couldn't help but wonder, when are we getting 30 more seasons of this nonsense? Hook me up to the IV bag of "and just like that" and let me live out my days watching how they continue to disrespect our most beloved characters, while we all watch on in disbelief and wonderment. Send Carrie to Mars. Have Charlotte cryogenically frozen and brought back. Make Che Diaz intergalactic overlord and the Pope. I do not care. Just make more, please. And thank you. And 65% of you knew that. Question 5. Fashion brand Gucci recently featured which music artist in the Love Parade campaign wearing a green suit? Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar. Fashion brand Gucci recently featured which music artist in the Love Parade campaign wearing a green suit? Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar. The thing with being a music artist is that you can make absolutely anything look cool. Anything. Katy Perry's iconic cupcake brawl? Last time I tried that, I got kicked out of a Panera Bread. Or Biggie Smalls in his Kangol cap? If I try that, I look like him in the ensemble for Newsies. In theory, the outfit in question is worn by me, it would just look like the Grinch doing the most on a date night. But in execution, this guy is serving us green M&M level sexy meets West Coast cowboy, and friends, we're living for it. That's right, we can't get enough of friend of display Snoop Dogg pulling out the fashion stop for Gucci's latest set of ads. And 87% of you knew that. Q6. The human diaphragm supports which of the following organs? Liver, lungs, intestines. The human diaphragm supports which of the following organs? Liver, lungs, intestines. Does it really, though? Does the diaphragm really support as much as it claims to? Everyone always promises to support. But let me tell you, the last time I called my insurance customer support, I felt just the opposite. I'll tell you that. First you call and you have to talk to a robot, and look, I've got nothing against robots. I love their work, but talking, we all know, is not one of their strong suits. Then the robot redirects me to a hold line where I wait for 50 plus minutes listening to some of the most boring music I've ever heard in my life. I mean, if I ever do get through, I'll probably be asleep because of the music. Then finally, Denise gets on the phone with me, and I can tell Denise is having a hard day, so I don't get nasty with her. In fact, I do the opposite. Hear her out. By the end of the call, I've forgotten all about my issues, and she's thanking me. Customer support is not something I signed up for, Denise. But diaphragm support is vital for the organs, namely the lungs. Just like I did with Denise, deep breath in and deep breath out. And 94% of you are moving on to Q7. All of the following were pets owned by the main ensemble in Friends except turtle, sphinx cat, monkey. All of the following were pets owned by the main ensemble in Friends except turtle, sphinx cat, and monkey. You know, eccentric pets notwithstanding, this show gets a lot of flack for being an unrealistic depiction for your first few years of life out on your own. But I couldn't disagree more. I mean, what's unrealistic about having 5 best friends, all of whom live in the same rent-controlled apartment where you all wear your shoes on the sofa, being unemployed in Manhattan for large chunks of time without getting evicted, or spending all hours of the day at a coffee shop when you should probably be at work? No wonder you don't have a job, Monica. By the time you finally clocked in, you were so jittery and bug-eyed that no one could understand a thing you were saying. That being said, I love it. Perfect show. And the only pet on this list never kept by one of the main characters is a turtle, because that would have been too far-fetched. Q8. The animal with a forelock could be used for what purpose? Pulling carriages, food coloring, laying eggs. The animal with a forelock could be used for what purpose? Pulling carriages, food coloring, laying eggs. Okay. Pardon my asking, but is this animal single? Hottie alert, a forelock? That sounds uber sexy. And no, not Uber like the rideshare service, because we all remember Uber Pool, and let's face it, there is very little sexy about being crammed in the back seat with a stranger while they gently update their boyfriend about their whereabouts. Okay, now I'm on 3rd Avenue? Okay, now I'm on 2nd. I'm saying Uber here as in very, as in mucho, as in wow, a forelock is a piece of a horse's mane that falls over its forehead like bangs. Yes, I stand by it. That is one sexy horse. Yes, King, you pull that carriage. By the way, where did you get your forelock highlighted? Love the warm tones on you. And 88% of you are moving on to Q9. The Broadway show that holds the records for most Tonys across all runs was written by a music writing duo also known for what other musical? Sound of Music, Jesus Christ Superstar, Anything Goes. The Broadway show that holds the records for most Tonys across all runs was written by a music writing duo also known for what other musical? Sound of Music, Jesus Christ Superstar, Anything Goes. Did someone say musical? You know, that really takes me back. Picture it. Broadway, 2017. The air was electric. I arrived, greeted by a steaming plate of poutine and people saying, "Sorry, sorry," as a light snow began to fall. I was greeted by the cast of Schitt's Creek, and Catherine O'Hara said, "So glad you could make it to our quaint domicile." Oh, and should probably also mention that this is a Broadway in Toronto. You thought I meant New York? Of course. Easy mistake. Yes, no, I was in Toronto. The flight to New York was far too expensive. Sure, the theater isn't as good, but those police on horseback and those signs in English and in French, ooh la la. The show that holds the records for most Tonys is South Pacific, with book and lyrics by Oscar and Hammerstein, the two geniuses behind The Sound of Music. Well, friends, we're not quite ready to take a bow, but are you ready? 78% of you are, and as Catherine O'Hara, as Myra Rose in Schitt's Creek once said, "It's time for the final question." This is Q10. The bonsai technique that translates to platform cedar is predominantly practiced in what Japanese neighborhood? Gion, Kitayama, Fushimi. The bonsai technique that translates to platform cedar is predominantly practiced in what Japanese neighborhood? Gion, Kitayama, Fushimi. Funny story, actually. I wore platform heels to a karaoke one night, which is a Japanese pastime. So I think I exactly know what's going on in this question. Did my feet hurt by the end of the night? You betcha. But did they make my rendition of It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion top notch? Oh yeah. Did I lose one in the taxi home at 3 a.m.? Why, yes, I did. And did I have to hobble the remaining block home with one platform on and one off? Yes, I did. It was basically a Stairmaster workout. I will not be taking questions at this time, except for, how do you lose an 8-inch platform boot? You think you couldn't miss it. Anyway, man, I get off track, but you know what's totally on track to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen? These bonsai trees. In Kitayama outside of Kyoto, Japan, called Daisugi, and if you have not seen it with your eyes, you should look at it, because it's wild. Just like baby trees growing out of one big tree. Incredible. Well, let's see how we did. 330 of you won. Oh, and I'm just getting this. Question 4 was incorrect, so we will be eliminating that. So if you got question 4 right or wrong, but you got all the rest of the questions correct, you are a winner tonight. So congratulations. And I know you missed Sarah today. You've only got one more day with me before she's back. She'll be back on Friday, and I can't wait to see you all tomorrow right here on display.